Welcome to Chatterbox Besties with Brenda and Ricky. We're two besties sharing news, gift ideas, and lifestyle tips to help your ordinary days turn into a 10 plus. Well, today we'll be discussing what's really in your food. We have with us today our self-professed condiment queen, Sydney Pohl, founder of SydPlayEat gourmet truffle salts and sauces, which I personally have been a super fan of for years. I use them daily and I gift them often, and I know you will be so inspired learning about her journey as an entrepreneur and how she makes her products so clean and naturally delicious. So we're super excited to be interviewing this successful female founder, especially during Women's History Month. So we're so excited. And we want to say she also happens to be Ricky's daughter, which is a connection that really adds to our pride and her success. So yay, Ricky.
And thank you. Hi.
Raising a great daughter.
Welcome.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Brenda.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, today's episode is sponsored by Fulcrum Aesthetics in Lakeview in Chicago. Fulcrum is dedicated to providing premium surgical and non-surgical beauty services that enhance and rejuvenate your natural beauty. As a leading practice in Chicago, Fulcrum promises each patient personalized care, focusing on educating you and providing treatments that align with your personal goals. And now through April 15th, if you book an aesthetic service as a new client at Fulcrum Aesthetics, you'll receive a complimentary Aura 3D skin analysis, which is a $150 value. So you can understand what's really going on with your skin, because pictures don't lie. And be sure to mention Chatterbox Besties when you book to get this awesome analysis for free. Details will also be listed in the show notes.
Thanks, Ricky. Yeah, it's such a great giveaway. Well, we also have a very special giveaway going on right now on our Instagram, and it's only for a few days. It's a lovely giveaway from our guest today. It's a $100 value of SydPlayEat products in a gorgeous gift box paired with 12 bags of ready-to-pop popcorn. And all of this will be shipped to you if you win. And so what a treat. The products are beautiful. I actually have an empty jar because I keep using it. This is what one of her products look like. It comes with this really cute.
Me too.
Yeah, there you go. You got a full one right there. It comes with this really cute gold condiment spoon, which I use often and love. So you're gonna love these products. So definitely try to win. This is a great giveaway. Go to our Instagram when you're done listening to the podcast. You can see all the details. And whether you win or not, you can still win, because if you order $40 or more of product at SydPlayEat, you get $10 off. And if you order $80 or more, you get $20 off. And this is an exclusive deal with code Chatterbox. And it's definitely a no-brainer. So if you love the product, grab that 20 off 80, or I'm sorry, the 10 off 40. And if you, either way, if you love it, 20 off 80. If you're a new user, the 10 off 40. This is a promo we might not see again. And with the spring holidays coming up, it's perfect for gifting, and it's perfect for using if you're hosting. And I know we'll be talking about lots of ideas with Sydney later on how to use it, but I just want to say I literally use it every day on my eggs in the morning. I'm all about elevating the little moments. But one of the ways I love to use it when I'm hosting is I like to create a butter board, which is basically just like room temperature butter that you kind of smash down on a marble board or wherever. And then you just sprinkle it with Sid salt, a drizzle of her oil, and you will be shocked at how impressed your guests are. They're like, that looks so cool. It's so delicious. So super easy. And Ricky has a million ideas, so I can't wait to hear
The
all
best.
of them.
We
So,
actually have a recipe for the butterboard on our website with the
oh,
Boston salt. So
oh,
really, really fun and a great idea, especially for a party if you're hosting.
that's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
I just want to add, it's not just delicious, it also looks really beautiful because you can see all the ingredients just kind of sprinkled around. So
It's
proud
unlike
moment.
anything I've ever seen out there. So it's really something. So, so Sydney's going to set us straight in a few on how to best use the products. But before we do that, of course, Ricky and I, we always have to catch up. So I want to talk. Let me get a sip of water first because we can't stop talking. We want to talk about the Oscars a little bit, which were this week. And I have to say, like, how about Anna Wintour and Anne Hathaway? So if you didn't watch, they came out as a pair to present one of the first nomination categories. And it was like the greatest matchup. It was a playoff. The Devil Wears Prada. The sequel's coming out. If you don't know, Meryl Streep is in the movie and she plays a character based on Anna Wintour. And Anne Hathaway actually plays Meryl Streep's personal assistant. They just had such a fun exchange and put on the personalities of the role. And Anna Wintour actually took off her sunglasses, which she never does.
Shocking. Yeah.
Right? It was so shocking. I was like trying to get a really good look at her. Anyway, I definitely want to go to the sequel, but we have to talk a second. You know, all these movies are really into merch, especially for adults these days. And so they are doing this Hermes, plastic Hermes, like knockoff popcorn bucket. Like
Oh,
what? And it's got charms hanging off the side. Ricky, I know we've been talking about it. Isn't that insane?
I think it's really creative. I have to admit, everyone's going to want it.
Well, lo and behold, and people are so upset about this, it's sold out already. And how much do you think that plastic bucket was selling for before you even
Wait,
go to the movie?
it's sold out and the movie hasn't even come out yet?
Yes, because pre-sale, you know, merchandise. Hopefully
Oh
they'll get
my
you
did you
pre-order,
get,
gosh.
but it's probably
did you
coming
guys
from
get one?
China, so they probably won't get it.
How much?
$50
Oh my God, for popcorn in a
for
plastic bucket that you'll
yes.
never use. Oh my
But I guess
God.
there's a lot of other merch, but it's just so fun. Like it's crazy. People are crazy. Like, but I will say, whether or not you go to the movies or watch it later at home, you can use your SydPlayEat product on your popcorn. So
We have
anyway,
a customer that actually brings our salt to the movie theaters with them. She told me at the last movie
wow.
we did, and I was
I
dying.
huge
So
opportunity.
flattered. So flattered.
Huge opportunity.
Oh, I'm totally going to do that. That's another
Right.
avenue for you to pursue, like little packs at movie
Oh
theaters.
yeah.
I think I
To-go
might have
pack.
mentioned that to you.
It's more of a manufacturing thing right now, but it's definitely coming down the line. So
Ooh, first to know, everyone.
That is so cool. I love that. I love that. Well, coming off of the Oscars with all of the fashion, which is really like one of the reasons I love watching it too. I just have to mention one thing. It was also recently Paris Fashion Week, and Dior, if you don't know, and you should look it up, all of you, because it was so cool. Jonathan Anderson is their creative director. He designed Dior's runway inside a glass greenhouse that they built at the Jardin des Tuileries, which is the Tuileries Garden in Paris. So anyone that perhaps it could be anyone that was walking through the garden, they could actually peek and see what was going on because it was just a glass enclosed runway. Oh my gosh, I thought it was so cool and what a great setting. And the other part of this show that I thought was so cool and so creative because I love like little details that get sort of like threaded through. So in the gardens in Paris, they all throughout the gardens they have these green metal chairs and they're known as the Sonnet chair. And it was created in 1923 by the Paris Parks Department to furnish gardens in Paris so that people could have a place to sit. And they're really durable, they're stackable, they're made of steel, and it has this like iconic green color. And it just sort of blends with the background of the gardens. They're really perfect and beautiful. So Dior, as part of the invitation, created like two mini chairs on top of the invite and shipped it in a box to those who were lucky enough to get an invitation. And I just thought that was
Oh,
so cool. So, anyway, I thought it was a very amazing detail. And honestly, I want to buy those chairs now, which you can buy because there's another manufacturer who kind of like remade the chair in a lighter aluminum. And so I'm like, that would be so cool to have like two of these chairs in your backyard, kind of like pretend you're in Paris. So anyway, but speaking of outdoors and gardens, Ricky, you have created the most amazing lush herb garden indoors, and you have such great tips for us on that. So I need you to share with everybody because it is truly amazing.
have you ever just thought of something and you're so proud of yourself for this? And it's so not a big deal, but for me, it was a huge deal. I use mint. I flavor my water every day. I throw in all kinds of fruits and everything in my water
This
just
is
so I
so
drink
great.
enough.
Yeah.
And every day I have mint. And I don't know if you can see it, but Brenda was at a hotel, and it's really hard to store fresh herbs because I bought the stuff that you can buy and the water tips over in the refrigerator or it doesn't stay moist. This is that cheap plastic shower cap, and it's got elastic. And I was so proud of myself for
Okay, so
figuring.
this is so funny because I had a little girls' weekend in the city, and part of that weekend, Ricky and I had like our own little like retreat for Chatterbox Besties because we had to strategize about some stuff. So she's in my room and we're talking, and the Four Seasons does all these great little teeny things that are so cool. And so I'm telling her about what I love about the one of the dumb little things that I love about the Four Seasons is in the little black shower cap box is like a really nice satin scrunchie. Like it's the best. It's like so every time I go there, I'm like, I love the scrunchie. And I'm like, I could care less about the shower cap. She's like, wait, let me see that shower cap. I'm like showing it to her. I'm like, what? I'm like, it's a shower cap. She's like, no, it's like the perfect whatever. Was it like the plastic type or something? I don't even
Oh,
know.
it's
Like, tell
cheap.
me what you were drawn to about that.
Because it had elastic, I steal all the plastic bags in the vegetable section. And then you have to twist it around and tie it, and I'm cutting it and it slips and it doesn't stay tight. This is elastic. I bought, I think, 150 for $2 or something on
I
Amazon.
think Emily Mariko would be proud of you. That is
Yes,
really smart. And she doesn't even do that. She does the rubber band with the vegetable bag in the fridge,
yes,
but this is genius.
yeah.
It is genius. Like I totally like I want to have more than mint. Like I want to do like have like a row of like the because you can't really grow them in our climate at least.
Well, this
Um
is after it's grown and it's cut and it's in your refrigerator. And
Makes no sense.
it doesn't tip
Amazing.
over and it stays moist. And if it gets icky, you just throw it away and take it. I mean, it's not even a penny a shower cap. I don't even know how much it is.
So
It's
you
like
can even get so if you buy herbs in the from the grocery store like this time
you
of year,
put it
which
in
you just
water
put it in water. Okay,
and then you
I
put the
never even
shower
knew
cap.
that.
It's
Wow.
it's an umbrella for your herbs,
Well, it's
basically.
almost like a little moisture, like a little,
Absolutely.
yeah, like a
Yes.
greenhouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
my God, that is the best. I love that. Thank you, Ricky. I can't wait to try it.
Okay, well, I think we've done enough chatting. We should probably introduce our guest for a proper intro. And I just want to say, watching someone that you love fight for their health, only to be served food, does anything but heal the person. So today's guest did not just question it, she turned that frustration into a mission.
After witnessing her dad recover from cancer and realizing just how broken our food system can be, Sydney did something most people never do. She started a business from scratch. There was no roadmap, just a deep conviction that food should nourish and not harm. So, with her nutrition degree in hand, Sydney Pohl founded SydPlayEat, a gourmet clean ingredient brand of elevated truffle salts and sauces that make eating well feel effortless and actually taste incredible.
So, Sydney, take us back to the time with your dad and what you were seeing and experiencing in those hospital rooms.
Yeah, I mean, we were all there. It was during, after one of the numerous procedures, and I remember them bringing a tray of food, and it was red jello, like processed mashed potatoes, like a bunch of
White
foods
bread.
that, yeah, like it doesn't even matter if it looks good, it's not good for you. It's not whole fruits and vegetables, real protein. It's soaked in all these chemicals and things that aren't good for you. And I had been working in the restaurant industry at the time, and I was like, I wonder who is the distributor for hospital food and
Hmm.
I started Googling it while we were sitting there, and I realized it's a huge conglomerate. There's like one company that monopolizes all of the hospitals. And with my, job as like, okay, so can't really tap into that market there. Don't think I can contact Cisco and change that, but I am going to get my nutrition degree and see what I can do about it. I had just started listening to podcasts at the time, which was new for me in 2018. And a lot of them were health and wellness podcasts. And I had learned a lot about more research too with pancreatic cancer. Not always, but one of the ways you can get it. Not saying this is how my dad got it, but it can come from an unhealthy diet.
Mm.
So, mostly processed foods, not having nutritional knowledge, eating things that aren't whole, real foods. And it just really occurred to me like, now we have cancer and we're in the hospital, and you are serving the food that puts you in the hospital. How does this make any sense at all? So to me, I was like, we can't change that now. We already have it, but like, how can we prevent other people from getting it, with what we can control, at least. We can't control all outside factors, but that was kind of the start and the drive to all of that.
Yeah, I think that's great. So you really felt like you were the one that should fix this, which I love. So before this, were you someone who saw yourself as an entrepreneur?
I love that question. And I think not really. No, I think a lot of my career was kind of just figuring things out, seeing what worked and what didn't work. In my early 20s, I did start my own business selling on Etsy phone cases. They were like these rubber phone
Oh,
cases with
cool.
studs in the back of them, which was real. Studs were really cool at that, like 2012.
That's really great.
Like the Valentino rock stud kind of look. And I would stud phone cases and Converse shoes and headbands for little kids. I would go to
Oh,
like Marshalls and
cool.
buy stuff, decorate it, and sell it on the internet. So to some extent, I guess I was an entrepreneur for a little bit, but had to continue. I don't think I ever thought of it as like I can do this full time. I didn't have enough confidence in it. So
So what gave you the confidence or maybe just the push to start creating these products?
yeah, so for this business, a lot of it was driven from I want to make something that I know tastes good, that is also good for you, using anti-inflammatory ingredients, real whole foods, no chemicals, no sugar, no gluten, no stabilizers, nothing processed. And I kind of figured like, at the time it wasn't my full-time job. So I was like, we can just do this on the side. It's a fun little hobby. Let's
Okay.
like just sell it online, bootstrap it. And then it wasn't until 2020 when I was furloughed from my full-time job in the restaurant
COVID,
industry
yeah.
that I was like, let's do this full time. I had just gotten my nutrition degree certification, and I couldn't really interview clients for nutritional things because everyone was on lockdown.
Right, right.
And I really took it full throttle. I think my husband had kind of joined in and was like, if we are doing this full time, like if you're going to do this, somebody needs to work on your label.
I love it. I love it.
Literally like a sticker I printed on the computer. I am not a graphic designer by any means, and he works in advertising, and he's like, let me redo this label and
Excellent.
redo the website and do all of this, and then we can take it seriously. So I think that was a good push, and really losing my job was a push. Having time that I didn't have
Having the
previously.
time. So it was like floating around in your head. You wanted to do something. I think COVID,
It's,
the silver lining in COVID for a lot of people, I think, was that you had the
I was
time
Oh
just
yeah.
going
to.
to say that the lemons into lemonade. I wonder how many businesses were actually
Mm,
encouraged
yeah.
during that. Let's talk about your brand name. I absolutely love SydPlayEat. What does it mean? What was the first step? Talk about your name.
Really funny and embarrassing a little bit. This one I would say was back when I was still a preschool teacher. I remember going out to dinner with my now husband, and we sat down at a restaurant in the West Loop that is no longer there. And I had just kind of started to post some more food on my Instagram. I maybe wanted to start like a blog, had no idea how to make a website. And I was like, we need like a fun name. And we kept going back. Like, I think my Instagram handle at the time was like Sydney K21, like
Right.
something very
Like, well,
basic and
most people are.
boring.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I was like, what if it's like cooking with Sid, dinner with Sid, like how can we just literally talk to the entire meal? And I think we had kind of riffed on like Love and Lemons was a blog I really liked following at the time, and like the movie Eat, Pray, Love. So it was kind of like Sid, Play, Eat, because if you know me, I'm silly, I guess, to say like I'm serious, but more silly than
Yeah.
serious. So
Fun.
I like the idea of fun, playing with your food before you eat, encouraging that fun part. Whereas when you were kids, not in my house necessarily, but other houses, they say don't play with your food.
Right.
So encouraging more fun of playing with your food.
It sounds good. So,
Yeah.
and is there anything about your early eating habits versus your later eating habits that may have attributed to the name?
100%. I definitely growing up, you would always make us baby carrots with the little black olives on the end. They were
Oh,
like barbells. So
Love
we
it.
played with our food all the time. I was notoriously a picky eater. I liked pasta plain. I liked salad with just olive oil and balsamic. I liked, no cheese on my
no
pasta,
butter.
everything no butter on anything, peanut butter only, no jelly on the sandwich. So very
I
basic,
love it.
plain, straightforward. But I always liked vegetables, which is kind of weird, and like olives and all these like savory, salty things, which is still very true today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've definitely since evolved and changed my eating habits a lot. I'm way more
Oh,
adventurous
dramatic.
now. I'd say like really the only food I very much dislike is blue cheese. So I'm pretty
Okay.
good now. Pretty good.
You're really good.
That's
You're really
awesome.
good.
That's awesome. So when you started, which you kind of explained, where we kind of have this idea like some people kind of overthink when they want to start a business, or did you just kind of start messy? Or I mean, it sounds like you kind of told us a little bit about how you got there, but I don't know if you want to add to that at all.
Yeah, the question's very funny to me. Like I don't tend to overthink things like that because the idea of like sitting down to come up with a business plan just seems like irrelevant to me. That's kind of a thing like, okay, I'll do that later situation. It was
Yeah.
more I had made this product in the kitchen. I liked how it tasted and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
huh, I wonder if I could sell this. And listed it on Etsy. I had a few friends that bought it. And then it just, kind of started with me sterilizing 6 bottles of like oil like this, the glass bottle. I'd put it in a big pot of water, boil it for a few hours at my house to like
Okay.
kill bacteria. I was scrappy and I knew from the restaurants I needed some sort of serve safe certificate, which is like what anyone
Okay.
in food or restaurants have. Didn't know which one I needed, just took a test and studied. Was the wrong one, but was fine. I needed it anyway. And kind of just went like that. I kind of just like joined different online forums and I would have people set me up with other people. It was all during COVID, so it was all over
Yeah.
Zoom. And I was literally making we had one product at the time, 6 bottles of our product at the same time. And that was it. You could only do a run of 6. Each bottle was not even because we hadn't figured that out. My recipe was literally handwritten with a pencil on a post-it note. And there was 100% a day where I could not find that post-it note. And it was a little scary. We eventually found it, but I was like, okay, maybe we need to start typing things up online. Maybe we need to have some real documents. I eventually did get a mentor who was a friend of my dad's when he worked in the bakery supply company. And this man had since retired and works for Score. You guys actually know him, Ed Peterlins. He's amazing, super smart guy. And he really helped me craft my business plan, craft like who are my competitors, what's our market, who's our target audience, who should we be marketing towards, what about grocery, all of those things. And that was 5 years ago. We still talk to him once a month. So it's the
That's
best,
great.
best like business connection we've had to
Hmm.
help mentor us.
Talk
Just
to us about your first sale or the first moment you thought, oh my goodness, this could really work.
yeah, I think, because I had done the phone case thing, like giving to my family and friends was fun, or like shipping to my old camp friend in DC was felt really cool. But I think when it felt really real was after I got into the commercial kitchen that I'm currently in, which is another fun story, but I won't take your time. I had gotten into that and realized, like, okay, I want to do retail because that makes it more legitimate. And getting into Artifacts, which is this cute boutique
Hmm.
gift store in Lincoln Park. We had known the owners growing up. I hadn't seen them in many years, and my mom was friends with them. And I walked in, I was pregnant at the time, and had her taste our products. I was shaking on the way in, very nervous. And she had said, yes, like once you pass the certification in the kitchen, we want to place an order. And to me, that was the coolest thing ever because I knew I had to be in a physical retail store
Yes.
location for people in my life to think this is real and to think it's not just like a fun little hobby. You're going to go back to your job when COVID's over, like that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
that felt so real. I remember flying to New York for my friend's baby shower, and my sister-in-law had been asking about the business, and she also works in food. And she was like, "Oh my God, you already have a store
That's
lined up?
awesome.
You don't even have a production line, you don't have employees." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, got my parents working in the kitchen with me. I made them take the serve safe test. My husband's helping. Like, we're gonna make it work." So that was kind of the real this feels
And now
real
you're in a
moment.
lot of stores and grocery
Right.
stores and you're on Amazon and it's that
Yeah.
I always say it's that first step that's the hardest. So
It is. It
you did
is. And
it,
it still feels that exciting when we get into a new store. We
of
just got into a new
course.
store yesterday in Glen Ellen called Marcel's.
Oh,
So we're
excellent.
really excited.
Congrats.
Thank you. So we're going to drive up next week, drop off the products. So it's still exciting to get into new stores, and it feels surreal in a way.
Well, it
And you
keeps
also do
validating. Oh,
markets
sorry. Go
as
ahead.
well.
Hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of our one-on-one with customers and getting feedback comes from these craft fairs and markets that we do. We do a lot of artisan markets, like the Renegade Craft Fair in Chicago, in the
Hmm.
city and suburbs. To us, it's a great way to really get instant customer feedback. We have people sample all of our products. You get instantaneously, you will see if somebody likes it or doesn't like it. We think we can read people pretty well now. I
Yeah.
can kind of guess, what they might be putting the products on
Right.
afterwards. So I give those as suggestions, and they're like,
Hmm.
wow, how did you know I like all those foods? Like,
Right.
I've
Right. You could
done
tell.
this enough times that I feel like
Yeah, you've
you
got your own
know
little focus group going on every time you're
exactly.
there.
So
Well,
it's
and I
really
will
fun.
say that's how I found your product was at one of those markets. And honestly, just trying the product sells you. Like anybody that I've gifted the product to or have tried it, I mean, it is a no-brainer because it is such a great product and just and it's beautiful and it's clean. I mean, it just checks all the boxes. So,
Thank you.
yeah, it's really incredible. So did you find in your journey, and I love how it was kind of like, and I think that's how most entrepreneurs start, right? A little bit messy, a little bit you're not sure, is this going to work? Um, as a female, did you find that as a female entrepreneur as an advantage or not so much and make a difference? Just curious.
Yeah, so what's interesting is from my experience, I
Hmm.
didn't think it mattered. I didn't really think about it at all until the commercial kitchen I work in called the Hatchery. When I had applied to get in 2021 is when I started. They had a
Okay.
grant to, and we were bootstrapping. Like we weren't losing money on the business, but we were selling 6 bottles at a time. I'd buy like
Right.
a small thing of chives from Thrive Market, like it's very minimal. And so to get into the hatchery, I had to pay, I can't remember how much it was, but it seemed like an exorbitant amount of money at the time. Maybe it was like $500. Like it really wasn't even that crazy. And they had offered at the time a women's business grant through PepsiCo to
Oh,
fund the
Oh,
kitchen initiation fee.
interesting.
So to me, right off the start, like that was pretty cool to not have to pay the fee moving forward.
Yeah.
And then about a year later, I want to say, we were encouraged through the hatchery to get certified by WeBank. It's WBENC, so it's the Women's Entrepreneurial Certification,
Oh,
and I have to renew it every year. They actually emailed me this morning to renew for next year. So they do like a tour of your office and just kind of make sure you
oh,
own at least
I
51% of the
see.
business. And because you are a women-owned business, which I had learned in the Target Accelerator program, you get often better shelving space in retail,
wow.
and a
Really?
lot of stores are more likely to carry you because of that. Like I get offers to do like pop-ups for Women's History Month. I'm doing one next
Okay.
week at Wild Onion Co-op, and a lot of these things are just women-owned business things. So
Wow.
having that certification, which to me seems kind of silly, like why do I have to call out that I'm
Yeah,
a woman? But everything I've learned, it is really vital if you are a woman-owned small business. So can
that's
really help open doors.
great. Great information. So would you say, if you had to think about like what really changed the trajectory of the business, was it being at the commercial kitchen? Was it getting the grant? Like what is there a point in time when you're like, okay, it's working, I'm taking off?
I think the biggest change for the business of like this is fun or this is real
Yeah.
was it was shortly after we had just started working in the kitchen. We'd gotten into a few stores, we were selling at
Okay.
markets online, and my job, it was about a year and a half after COVID and I had been furloughed, they called me to offer me my job back.
Oh my God.
It
You're
was a
like, thank
slightly,
you.
yeah, it was a slightly, different position than I would be in. I was pregnant at the time. They didn't know that. And I remember thinking like, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna have to go in every day. And I'm
Yes.
going to then have to take maternity leave in, X amount of months. I know what they pay. I know that this business has potential, and if this is going to happen, my options right now are to take the job so we can have security through insurance, especially like giving birth. I was on Cobra, to have a steady income, or just like trust my gut and know that this is what I want to do and I'm going to make it work. And I not only am going to, but I have to. Like my husband might leave me if this doesn't work. Like I don't everyone a lot of people in my life like thought it was like a fun, cute side thing. They didn't think it was real. They didn't think I could do it full time and actually make money from it. And we've since proved them wrong. I make pretty much what I made at my job then, so not a ton, but like it's enough to
Yeah.
keep everything afloat and keep it steady. And that was the real moment of, do I take my job back or do I just keep chugging forward?
Well, I'm so proud of you because you kind of let all that noise push to the side because I do think a lot of people hear that. I mean, I would say probably everybody. And so
Yeah.
it takes a certain kind of confidence and like conviction that you have a great product to kind of not listen to that and go with what you think is right for you. So
Yeah.
so kudos, that's amazing. Sydney, your brand is really rooted in such a personal why. How do you protect that as you keep growing?
Yeah, I think that is one of the challenging parts, especially in the early days. I wanted everything to be organic, clean, all of this stuff. And I think after, it's been almost 5.5 years now, there are certain things that I can be a little wiggly on and certain things
Oh,
that I have
okay.
to stand strong on. Our olive oil will always be organic, single origin, that kind of thing. I need that to be as clean as possible. There are so many oils on the market that are inflammatory, and I do not want that in any of our products. We always use glass for the oils so
Great.
that the plastic doesn't leach. Olive oil or
Mm-hmm.
any type of oil is so susceptible when it's in plastic to leach the
Oh,
chemicals, and then you're consuming the chemicals when you eat them.
interesting.
So I'm very particular about that. The salt is less of a concern because it's not hot. Um, it is in glass, which is great, better for the planet anyway. But yeah, I like to keep that kind of thing there. We had to be a little strategic. Our spices are not organic after, I think it was the first year of business. I had talked to a food scientist at the hatchery at the time. He had worked for Ingredion, and I used to like be up at night concerned about botulism. It was like all I could think about was like, oh my God, I've now sold X amount of products. Are
Oh,
people gonna die? Like, what do I do? Botulism was like a thing. And this guy was like, honestly, if you use non-organic spices, dried spices, so like our chives, that kind of thing, they are less likely to cause botulism, especially with like onion and garlic, which is very interesting. But I
oh, okay.
also learned that botulism is like, I'm not going to describe it well because I'm not a scientist, but like botulism's like everywhere. It's just like, it's a thing. It's only when usually it comes from like onions and garlic. If they're like treated the wrong way, then
Okay.
you can get infected. I don't even know if that's the right word by it, but since then all of our things have been lab tested and none of that is of concern. But we did have to switch to certain spices not being organic. But honestly, the oil being organic was the most important to me.
Okay.
Can you keep mentioning the word clean. And I know it's a buzzword, but it's not regulated. So can we talk a little about what that means? What's the
Yes,
definition?
I can talk about this all day. I love this. So there are certain words, and I learned a lot about this in nutrition school too, like natural. You'll see so many products that say natural on
Yes.
them. Natural means nothing. It means nothing.
Ah,
There's no, it's just a word that anyone can say because it sounds nice, but it really, there's no regulation for that.
interesting.
There is like a clean label certification. There are things like that. To me, what clean means, and I think a lot of influencers out there now, people that I was in the nutrition program with, clean to me means I can read all the ingredients on something and
Hmm.
I know that none of them, with my knowledge now, are harmful to me, that are
Okay.
going to eventually build up and give me cancer, cause plaque, cause inflammation is the biggest one.
Okay.
So to me, that means no seed oils, no
Hmm.
inflammatory oils, nothing sitting in like an oil sitting in a plastic bottle. Which is why like Graza just switched to glass bottles for their
Oh, they
squeezy.
did. Yeah, because I was
Is
thinking
that
about that brand. I'm like,
still
that's so interesting.
killed me. Great concept. Yes, chefs do it at restaurants, but
Right.
chefs don't care about
Yeah.
clean. Like
Yeah.
that's not important to them.
Right.
So to me, it's that anything
Interesting.
that's not inflammatory. So no seed oils, no gums like guar gum, xanthan gum. Those are all stabilizers that cause inflammation. A lot of fake sugar. So like xylitol, stevia, those kinds of things. Some are definitely better than others, but
Okay.
chemicals. They're all chemicals.
They're
So
all chemicals.
we do use a little bit of natural flavor in our products. We are trying to edge away from that by finding good substitutes, but it is one of the last ingredients. It just means it's a flavor created in a lab, not necessarily bad, but it gives you that aroma. But we're really we've already edged it out of a few of our products, so we're trying to get it out of all of them so we can be
That's
officially,
awesome.
officially so, so clean.
That is so interesting. So I used to think if you could pronounce it, then it was safe. But what you're saying is not necessarily true.
And everybody's description is, you can get as crazy as you want and
Right.
as into the weeds as you want about it. certain people have certain things they care about more than others. And a lot of people will stand by and say, like, I'll use vegetable oil. I don't care. It's
Yeah.
fine. But there is proof that it causes inflammation. Does it cause cancer?
Who
Not
knows?
necessarily, but inflammation leads to cancer. So if we can avoid these things as much as humanly possible, why not enjoy products that still taste good that are better for you?
So
Totally
is
agree.
it fair to say we should kind of avoid plastic bottles in general for prop?
Ideally, yes. Like drink, they say if you drink a water out of a plastic bottle, you're getting a credit card's worth of plastic,
Yes, I've
which
read that.
then goes into your brain and causes inflammation and all these other things. Plastic is impossible to avoid this day and age, right?
Yeah,
Like
I will tell you though, some countries, I know a lot of places in Europe, even when I went to Iceland, there is no plastic in Iceland.
yeah,
Like you're at the airport getting food and they give you like the recyclable utensils, no
love it.
Smart.
plastic. I mean, there are
Love it.
countries that make it a priority and we're just not one of them, but I
Yeah,
think they're trying to move into that direction. It's going to probably take
exactly.
a really long time, but
Yes,
there are countries that refuse because they want to keep their population healthy. So I
it's true.
really admire you for like kind of help that trend move along. So in
I
your
try.
Um,
special way.
Sydney, what are some hidden ingredients that we don't realize that we're consuming that may be bad for you? Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
so I think some of the ones I had mentioned, like stabilizers, gums, especially I know you're gluten-free. A lot of the gluten-free breads and things use
Yes,
gums to make
I
them
do. Xanthan gum.
stick together, which is fine. You will notice if you stop eating them fully,
Yeah.
you might feel different, kind of thing. Like those are things that are synthetic that are inflammatory. And
Mm-hmm.
companies use them because they're not super regulated. They're not
Yeah. Cutting
there.
corners. They're cutting corners.
Yeah. Another one I am weird about, and I think, everyone should be, it's a bigger deal in California, is like Prop 65 warnings. Okay.
Oh.
Sorry. The dog sees the mailman is outside. Prop 65 is very small. It'll be on the back of a package. We don't have a Prop 65 issue. A lot of it comes from when things are made in a facility and it can get like lead into the products or
Oh gosh.
aluminum.
Wow.
So like Korean sweet potato noodles, a lot of protein powders that are vegan, a lot of
Mm.
Wow.
things like that that are in powdered forms. I had bought like dates or figs from certain manufacturers. It's really small font, but if you Google it, it basically says this is a warning. This product can potentially cause cancer
Oh my
if
Oh,
you
God.
use
wow.
it. And people don't care. They don't read it. I'm not going to name names. There's a big guy that sells a lot of supplements and products. I love following him on the internet. I bought his protein powder because I
Oh
was
my goodness.
excited. The
I know.
ingredients themselves are clean, Prop 65. And
Wow.
I
Wow.
emailed them and they were like,
Did
yeah,
you?
we have to put it on the label. We even talked to our trademark lawyer and he was like, yeah, it's annoying for these brands. It's costing them hundreds of thousands of dollars. My whole thing again, that's my mission.
Yeah.
Why are we selling things that we know can
Wow.
harm
Yes.
people, even if it's minuscule? Like it just shouldn't be there. It should not be there.
Agree. Agree.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's really great. And again, Europe there's different standards for even American
Yes.
companies in Europe, which to me it's like, well, wait, why can't we offer the healthy things to our,
Yes.
to our
Exactly.
people in our country? Like, I don't get it,
Oh
but I
yeah.
know it's
I
all
mean, I could
dollars and
go,
cents oriented.
oh
So,
yeah, even
yeah,
deeper on that with Europe, like my mom always talks, and a lot of people talk about they can eat bread and gluten there and they're fine.
100%.
And you come here and you can't eat it, and that gets really, I don't want to bring up
Well, our
RFK,
wheat
that's
here
a
is not
little
is
rooted in
modified. Yeah.
pesticides,
Yeah.
glyphosate, you're spraying things, he's a little, we don't need to talk about, he's wacky, but like that, that is real. Like the pesticides are real.
Yeah.
We don't have a ton of control over that though. Like
Right. We
I'm not
really don't.
on a farm making my own oats.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I can only
Exactly. You have to
control
do the
so
best you
much.
can and sort of
Yeah,
read ingredients. And then companies are like you are really doing a service for all of
yeah.
us. So thank you. So let's move in to a little bit of how you use the product. So what is your go-to? Like I don't have time, but I still need a meal that's good.
Yeah, eggs for sure are always a go-to. A sunny side up egg. I like to use our garlic oil to put it in the pan, fry my
Oh, that's a
eggs
good
right
idea.
on top. Because it's an olive oil, you can cook up
Yeah,
to
love that.
375. So the garlic oil is the base, and then I do two fried eggs, and you can do any of the salts on top. I've been using a lot of our herb salt as a finishing salt because it
Oh
uses
yeah,
the
that's a really
Malden
good one too.
flakes,
I
so it's
love
nice
that.
and crunchy,
Mm-hmm.
which is really
And
fun,
it's pretty. It's
and it's
pretty.
really pretty. It's pretty. It's
It's pretty.
easy.
We're all about pretty.
Exactly. Well, food tastes better if it looks good, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
What any other favorite ways that you like to use the
yeah,
product?
I like to do hummus. Let's say you don't have time to
Oh,
make your own. I take a store-bought hummus. I drizzle any of my olive oils on top, usually the mild sauce, which is our original product, and then maybe like a super truffle salt. And it just really elevates the hummus to make it more exciting. You can do
yes.
crudité or like a cracker in it or a
Love
pretzel.
it.
And it's
Perfect.
just easy, some protein, fast. Hard-boiled eggs is a fast one.
Watermelon.
Watermelon with it, yes. And even when I was pregnant, I was obsessed with savory cottage cheese. So you do cottage cheese, our mild oil, our
Yeah.
super truffle salt, some chopped jalapenos, and chopped mango.
Oh, that sounds
Ooh,
Easy,
amazing.
little spicy.
popcorn.
Popcorn, 100%. That
Oh
is
yeah.
if I'm having like an ideal girls' dinner night, like I'm just making, if Adam's out of town and Abe's asleep, I am making a big bowl of popcorn, doing three sections. I'll take a bowl. One section is going to be the mild oil. This is such a Sydney
I
meal.
love
The
this.
middle section and the right section, I spray with avocado oil, and then I do two different versions of our salts. So, and I eat it with a spoon. And then you have to
Oh,
have like,
Oh
because it
my
gets
God,
messy, then
that's
your fingers are
amazing.
messy, our couch is white, like you can't touch anything.
I've
Yeah.
never eaten popcorn with a spoon before.
It's the best. And then all the flavors kind of mix and it's really fun. You have to have like a side of something sweet too. So like gummy bears or
Well, you
so
know
good.
what we haven't asked, and it just kind of popped into my head. The idea of truffle products.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that and how you kind of migrated toward that idea.
Yeah, so we use real truffles in all of our products, which is
Just
unique
because you love truffles, like, how did
because
it
I love
even?
I've always
Okay,
loved
I do
truffles
too. I
as
mean, I'm
soon as
such a fan. So I was
I don't
like,
even
these are
know
my
when
products.
the best. And some people hate truffles. So we
Right.
are going to come out with some non-truffle items this year.
Oh,
But
okay.
kind of expand, our clientele. But for the people that love truffles, we use real truffles in everything. They come from Provence and so France and then Alba, Italy. So
Nice.
depending on which truffles we use, real black truffles in everything except white truffles in the white truffle salt. A lot of people I've noticed when they say I hate truffles, it's because they're getting like natural flavored truffles
Yes, not the
or
real
chemicals.
deal.
So they're tasting that very pungent flavor that's metallic and fake,
Mm-hmm.
where we
Mm-hmm.
use real ones. We like to think truffles just elevate
Yeah,
your
100%.
everyday. Often it's just something that if you want to spend an extra $70 at a restaurant for them to shave it on top of your
Oh
Right.
pasta,
yeah, right.
such a luxury. Usually it
It's
has to be like your birthday or an anniversary to get it. And we're making it approachable to use on your sweet green takeout salad, your
right.
Chipotle burrito bowl with the hot sauce, anything
Or
you're
on your
making at home.
potato or whatever. Yeah.
Potato, yes, a
Rim,
baked
rim your
potato with
glass,
this,
your Bloody Mary glass.
literally, yes.
Ooh, there's an
Exactly.
idea. I love that
Oh,
one.
we
Ooh.
won second in Chicago's Bloody Mary Fest 4 years ago using
What?
this. Oh yeah, it was very funny. We were asked last minute to participate, and I was like, I'm not a bartender. And all the other
You're like, Adam,
contestants,
can you help me here?
literally, all the other contestants they were like restaurants, right? So they had made
Yeah.
their batches of Bloody Mary mix. We literally bought Zig, the one my mom likes to drink or did at the time. And I put our olive oil in it, the spicy truffle olive oil, and then we rimmed the glasses in the super truffle salt, and we got
I
second place.
love that.
So great idea. A lot of the artisan markets we do, they use this salt in their Bloody Marys as well. So
That is amazing because it's such a unique, delicious product. I'm sure everyone else was like, wow, that is so great. So,
Well,
exactly, so
I
fun.
always joke if you have carryout, take it out of the plastic container, use
Yes.
her products, and all of a sudden it's a gourmet meal.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I
So
Exactly.
love it.
very, very cool.
Wow.
Can we talk a little about how this business has changed you personally?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has fully changed me in a lot of ways. I mean, a lot of other things in my life were changing at that time too, but I think it's really given me a lot of confidence. It's really helped me find myself and come into my own. Of course, there's anxiety and struggles and nervousness around it, but I think it's really shaped me to bring out all the best parts of me, all the parts that make me feel like me, to give me
I
that
love it.
confidence to continue sharing something tactile that I've physically made, giving it to somebody, watching them try it and eat it. That is like such a full circle moment to know that like I made that and now I'm making somebody else happy by doing it.
Aw,
Love
love
it. I
that.
love
Cool.
it.
And then have you learned anything about resilience or risk?
Yeah, I mean everything. Everything.
Everything.
Everything.
Being an
I think,
entrepreneur, right?
yes, everything is about risk. We are 5.5 years into the business, and the more I have learned is that you have to take risks to make it move, to make momentum happen. I
Mm-hmm.
have learned that not everyone's going to like your products and you can't take that personally.
Hard.
You're going to
Yeah.
get bad reviews. We
Yeah.
when we first launched on Amazon, we did this program where you send the products to random people and they get to try it for free and they
Oh,
rate and
cool.
review it, and which could be cool, except a lot of people that were reviewing didn't know what truffles were. So they were like, I don't know why
Oh,
this is
it's
so
like too mass
expensive.
market. Yeah.
Why I don't get it. Why is it $20? Why is it this? And we were like, okay, so now we have all these bad reviews, but you're not even our target customer.
Right.
Right.
So we stopped that. But I think it's, when you initially hear negative feedback from something you've
Sure.
made, you're going to be offended. And I think there's a lot of resiliency over time to just not, I don't take it personally anymore. I know it's not for everybody. Um, and you kind of just move on and you
Yeah.
focus on the clients that do like the products.
Yeah, I love that. So, were there any moments where you wanted to quit? And if that happened, like what kept you going?
Honestly, no, which is
Great.
really cool for me. I think in every job I've had, I've definitely been like, okay, it's time, it's time. And I
Okay.
think a lot of my jobs were like 3 to 5, 4 or 5 years. I'm at 5.5 years with this. I want
Excellent.
to keep going and growing. There were definitely moments, especially with the botulism thing before we got lab tested, that I would be up in the middle of the night crying, like, oh my God, people are going to die. I'm killing them. What do I do?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. And
Right.
there's a lot of pressure in terms of like I miss a lot of weekends in my life. And now
Right.
that my
Right.
son's 4, I can't attend a lot of birthday parties he goes to, and I can't do a lot of social things, especially during the summer and the holiday season that a lot of other people get to do. Yes, I get to work with my husband, which is so fun, but you do sacrifice a lot of
Sure.
those things. So there are hard parts. And I think rather than quitting, it's a question of how do we transition and pivot so that we can be present in those moments as well.
Beautiful. That's so perfect. So, where do you see the brand going next? Like, what's your sort of vision?
Yeah, so I think especially this year, we would love to create some more products that are not truffle based. We've been
Yes.
in talks of coming out with our own popcorn line as well.
Oh, nice.
Our products or collaborating with somebody, more retail stores, as well as more corporate gifting, getting the word out. We just started doing advertising on Meta this year, so that's pretty exciting,
Great.
and trying to get the word out about corporate gifting, packaging, things like
Mm-hmm.
that, because we've noticed it's been a great gifting product. So
Love it.
continuing to grow and hopefully hiring people in the future,
Right?
Oh,
keeping it going.
wow.
Excellent.
Do you think this journey would have happened without the experience with your dad?
I really don't. I think everything happens for a reason, good
I
and
do
bad.
too.
Yeah.
Um, I think I was always conscious about ingredients and food. I know my mom
Always.
knows. My dad first had a heart attack when I was in fourth grade,
Oh
and
gosh.
we had had Kentucky Fried Chicken for dinner the night before. So I have never eaten KFC since then. Have I eaten fried chicken? 100%. But in my brain, I was like, maybe it's the food that is doing this. And I went on this whole thing about trans fats when I was in high school about how they should ban them in Chicago, how
Yes.
it's
Oh
legal at
wow.
0.5 grams. I wrote a whole speech about it. It was like a whole
Excellent.
running joke in my family. I like emailed to the local baker that would make my cake every year, and my dad was friends with this guy. And I emailed them asking if they could make a birthday cake with no trans fats. And my dad was like, make sure your last name is not on this email. I do not want to be affiliated. They don't need to know we're related. And I was like, but they're so bad for you. They can clog your arteries and just be there forever. And he was like, okay, okay, that's what it is. So I think from an early age, that was
Yeah.
something I wanted to stop, but would it have come about this quickly without him getting sick in
Yeah.
2018? Probably not. 2019? I'm
Yeah.
probably not. I don't think it would
You
have
Wow.
know,
happened
it's
this
kind of
quick.
interesting. It sounds like you were on that path early on and didn't even know you were on the path.
Exactly. So
And
maybe
it,
something would have happened, but I don't think
yeah, to kind of push you to
I
take a
don't even know that
chance.
I would have gone to nutrition school had he not been in the hospital.
That's
Right.
for sure. Yeah.
That was the biggest turning point for all of this was my mom had actually mentioned this a few days ago and I'd forgotten. We were at one of the initial hospital visits. I had just started listening to these podcasts. I think it was like Mind Body Green, which I love. And I said to the doctor, should my dad be on a plant-based diet?
Mm.
And the doctor was like, I don't care as long as he's eating something.
Yeah, they just want
I
to
was like,
feed people to eat. They don't care about what's in
like,
it.
that is such a weird answer. That is, I know that that's not true, right? Like, this
Right.
is how you got to this position. Shouldn't you change something about how you're eating? And we ended up switching hospitals. And I asked the next doctor the exact same question. And they said, that's a really interesting perspective and point. If your dad is on board with that, we can try to implement that and see
Oh,
if he feels better.
great.
Mind
Great.
blowing, very eye
Yeah.
opening.
Wow. So what impact do you ultimately want to have on how people think about food? I mean, I think we can get there, but I'd love to hear your sort of
Yeah,
take on
I
that.
think it would be great if all people could read ingredients before consuming them.
Great idea. Yep.
And if you are going to be eating something, don't get me wrong, I eat plenty of things that I shouldn't necessarily eat, but I'm aware that when I'm eating them, it's not good for me. I'm not going to feel good afterwards. It
Yeah.
potentially is going to cause long-term damage. When I give my son food dyes and things, he gets crazy. Like he's really hyper, and I'm aware of that. And sometimes you just do it because it's fun and he needs to live
Yeah.
life. But I'm not, sitting drinking a diet Coke every day because I know what aspartame can do to me long term.
Right.
So
I think it's a good point because if you listen to your body and pay attention, you will notice a difference. So
yes,
that's a
100%.
really
So
good
just
tip.
being aware of what you're consuming. I'm not saying
Hmm.
ban all the fun things, but
Don't
either
make
try to
yourself crazy.
find alternatives to the fun
Sure.
things
Yeah.
or just be aware of what you're doing
It's
and accept it.
perfect. Perfect. I love it. So if all of you listening have been following Chatterbox Besties on Instagram, you know that we've asked you if you've had any questions to pre-submit them. So first we want to thank all of you who sent questions in. And so we're going to have Sydney talk through some of those. And the first couple were more specific about the business, and you can tell us like if you're able to answer it even roughly, because the first question is pretty specific. So she asks, or he, when she launched her business, what percent would she say she was organized and disciplined, and what percent jump in and figure it out along the way? I think that's a really great question, because if somebody's trying to start a business, you kind of know it's a little bit of both, but how does that play out for you if
You
you
jump
look?
in, right
You just
away.
jump in.
You jump in, you don't overthink it. Everything I've learned, I spoke on another podcast a few years ago about this. Every mentor will tell you, you just do it. The
So
more,
a hundred,
even
so you
spend
start 100% jumping in
100%, the more you
and
think
test. You're
about
like
things,
testing, right? To see how it
yeah,
works. Yeah.
the more you think about things and don't do anything, nothing happens, right?
Taking
Like
action. Yeah. That's
taking
such great
action is the
advice.
only thing that moves the needle. You just do it, you pivot, it's
Yeah.
trial and error. If something
It's
doesn't work,
trial and
we've
error.
changed our recipe many times, we've changed our label
Yeah.
many times.
Yeah.
You just keep going.
I love that. I love that. What would you say is the hardest part of starting a business? That was another question someone asked that nobody warned you about, if there's one thing.
The hardest part is that you're on 24/7. You are also wearing every hat for the business, especially if
Right.
you're bootstrapping, especially if you are not hiring. Like I am the one taking the Serve Safe Manager test. I, at the time initially, was the one packing every order. I am writing a note in every order. I am posting on Instagram. I am making the recipes. I am coming up with booking the kitchen, finding a babysitter to
Yeah.
watch, like family members,
Right. Right.
logistics, the P&L, which I've learned a lot of acronyms for things I didn't know. I'm the one taking all the classes, networking, doing business to business, moving on. Ideally, you find somebody to help you in areas that are not your strengths, because the
Right.
biggest thing we have learned is that like we spend so much time in the business rather than on the business. And
Yes.
at this
Totally
point in time,
understand. Mm-hmm.
we need to try to pivot to work more on the business and not
Excellent.
in it.
Excellent tip.
Yeah,
Thank
you wear
you.
every hat when you first start, so that's hard.
Okay, we have a few more questions. I think we kind of talked about this, but if you want to add, what is her go-to 5-minute meal that feels elevated? Was one of the questions.
I love that. So funny. I'd say if I'm alone and it's 5 minutes, it's a girl dinner. So it's probably a big
Yep.
bowl of popcorn with our salt and our oil, maybe a glass of wine, and us, which this is such a me thing, a side of like pickles or olive.
Yes, that is.
Real, this is real life. Maybe
This
a
is
cucumber salad, like
Yeah.
something
Perfect.
savory.
Love it.
what would you say is a healthy food trend that you don't buy into?
I thought this was a great question. For one, it actually just came up in the news recently, but I've been eyeing it. The David protein bars.
Oh,
People are
yeah. I read
obsessed.
that.
They are so full of fat, full of like stabilizers, chemicals. Like there's just
Interesting.
nothing I like, yes, sometimes you just need something to grab and go, so you do it. But like the fact that people are this obsessed with something, and it's not like we should be eating more whole foods, like a whole egg, an apple, a banana, things like
Yes.
that. And this is just another form of processed food.
Interesting.
Yes.
What would you say is a small upgrade that instantly makes your food taste better?
Our salt.
Of
Of
course.
course. I'm just going to add one thing on the salt. I've noticed if I sprinkle the salt on vegetables or fruit and let it sit even for a couple seconds, it is so much better. I don't know
Oh, it
why.
like absorbs
Really like
into it. Yeah.
absorbs. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that.
just throwing
Marinating
that
a
in.
little.
That's
All
great.
right. When you this is true confession. When you feel overwhelmed, what do? Do you cook, order in, or keep it simple? Or all the above?
All the above. I usually snack is a thing, so I'll probably snack or do like a miso soup from the packet, add my salt in,
So keep
eggs.
it simple.
Simple, simple. I'm not making a whole thing, so then there's dishes and more of that.
Right,
Ordering,
right.
I get stressed and then I feel bad for spending money. So yes, just
Gotcha.
That's
find whatever
awesome.
I have in the fridge.
Oh my gosh. What a treat, Sydney, to have you talk about your journey as an entrepreneur. This has been awesome. And I love how you described how you make your products so clean and so delicious. I mean, elevating your food daily is really not as tough as it might seem, which I think is awesome. And we're lucky because the condiment queen, Sydney, has done the work for us. Thank you again for sharing your incredible knowledge and your expertise. This was incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you guys. It was such an honor to be a guest on this podcast. I've
Oh,
listened to every episode, and it's going to be hard to up. The last episode was amazing. I learned so many things from Brittany. So
Oh,
thank
awesome.
you. Okay, well, everyone, if you'd like to share your thoughts, please remember to send us your comments. Follow us on Instagram. And reminder, our Instagram, we have a fabulous giveaway going on right now for a few days. As soon as you sign off, go to Instagram and enter with the awesome giveaway. It's a $100 value. And of course, if you're ready to try SydPlayEat, order $40 or more for a $10 gift discount with code Chatterbox. Or if you're a current user, you get $20 off of 80, I think.
80. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And everything will be in the show notes as well, so you don't have to memorize this.
Thank you all so much for joining us at Chatterbox Besties with Brenda and Ricky for our delicious March episode with Sydney Pohl, founder of SydPlayEat. Please share this episode with someone you love to share Sydney's inspirational story and the amazing tips and tricks on elevating your everyday meals. And remember to take a moment to follow us and rate us on our show, on our podcast. And that's all we have for you today. So thank you so much. And until next time, we love you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hi there. This podcast is purely for entertainment purposes. We're your besties sharing our perspectives with you.